Clerk, ready?
I'm ready.
The January 20th, 2026 meeting of the Woolwich Township Committee is being called to order. Adequate notice of this meeting has been given in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act. Roll call, please.
Committeeman Frederick.
Here.
Committeewoman Minhas. Here. Committeewoman Williams.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Nocentino.
Here.
Mayor Mathias.
Here. If everyone can please rise to salute the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us this evening, and we have a packed house, which is fantastic. I know you're all here to tell us what a great job we're doing. Well, if you're not, hopefully you're here for the proclamations. January, of course, is a time of new beginnings and the ending of an old year. And so in January, we have two proclamations for two retirements that we have. Unfortunately, Joe Morgan was unable to join us this evening for personal reasons, but we do have Andy Hoagland with us. So Andy, if you could please come forward for your proclamation. So this is a proclamation from the Township of Woolwich honoring Andy Hoagland. Whereas Andy Hoagland has served the Township of Woolwich as the UCC Code Official, Building Subcode Official, and Building Inspector within the Woolwich Township Construction Code Department since the year 2022. And whereas he has led his department and the Township with dedication and professionalism, serving as an exemplary department head whose coworkers look upon him for guidance and leadership. Whereas he conducted his position with the utmost dedication and knowledge of building trades, the New Jersey Code and standards, always with the best interest of the township and its future residents in mind. And whereas he consistently demonstrated exceptional knowledge, superior performance, and unwavering professionalism throughout his tenure with the township, he was always approachable and remained calm under pressure, making even the toughest days manageable for his colleagues, and served as a mentor to many young contractors. Whereas Andy Hoagland will be entering into a well-deserved retirement as of January 31st, 2026, and the Township Committee of the Township of Woolwich wishes to acknowledge and thank Andy Hoagland for his years of invaluable contributions to the Township of Woolwich. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Township Committee hereby extends its sincere and unending gratitude to Andy Hoagland upon his retirement for his years of service to the Township, and further extends their wishes for continued health and happiness. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Congratulations.
And now, again, a new beginning. Chief Daniels, if you would please join me up here. And who will you have? You've done this before, right? Okay, please repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Thomas Daniels,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of
of
the United States
the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New Jersey,
of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
and I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties
all the duties
of the office of Police Chief
of the office of Police Chief
for the Woolwich Township Police Department
for the Woolwich Township Police Department
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Now, I know you have speech, I actually have something very quick to present you.
TJ, on behalf of the VFW Post 10886, thank you, and we want to give you a challenge for that. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Yeah. For 10 pages. Thank you all for being here tonight. Looking around this courtroom and seeing so many of you, my family, my friends, my colleagues, it's something I'm going to remember for the rest of my life. I have to be honest, standing here feels a little surreal. 25 years. That's my entire adult life I spent serving this township. The time went by fast, and I'm not sure I can find the right words for what this journey has meant to me. I worked hard to get here, and I gave everything that I had. There were sacrifices along the way, time away from the people I love, personal struggles, days when the job asked for more than I thought I could give. But tonight, with all of you here, I know it was worth it. Chief Marino, I wouldn't be here without you. You gave an 18-year-old kid a start. You believed in me, supported me, and guided me, even when I'm sure I tested your patience. I'll always be grateful for that chance you gave me and for everything you taught me. Dad, thank you for always being there for me. You're the most caring man that I know. Losing Mom changed everything. But even through that, even through your own grief, you never stopped putting Sharon and me first. Your strength, your support, the way you love us, that's what made me the man I am standing here today. Sharon, my sister, you always push me to keep moving forward, and anyone that knows you knows you're one of the toughest and most determined people in this room. You've never been afraid to tell me the truth, even when I didn't want to hear it. And that honesty, the strength, the encouragement you gave me, it meant everything to me. Kim, you're my foundation. You're strong, you're smart, you're incredible. You stood by me through everything. The long days, the hard calls, the doubts. I sometimes took it out on you. But you believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. And I wouldn't be standing here without you. I love you. To the men and women of this department, thank you. Thank you for your dedication, your professionalism, your commitment to this job and to each other. I want you to know that I will always stand with you and support you in every way I can. I'm proud of this department, and I'm honored to lead it. Mayor Mathias and members of the Township Committee, thank you for trusting me with this responsibility, and I don't take this lightly. I'm grateful for the chance to be your chief. I could stand here all night thanking everyone in this room. You've all had played a part in me getting here, whether you realize it or not. Every single one of you guys. The support I feel tonight makes every sacrifice I've had in the past 25 years in this career worth it. Thank you for being here, for believing in me. I promise I'll give this everything I have. I'm going to lead with integrity, serve with honor, and do right by this community and this department. Thank you. This is my sister Sharon, if you don't know. She told me a few minutes ago she wanted to say something. I have no idea what to do. So we got her wedding.
I don't even bother saying that my name's Sharon because I'm always known as TJ's sister. It's just always been the title that I've carried. So today is an extraordinary moment, one that represents not just the title, but a lifetime of commitment, sacrifice, and service. Standing here, I'm overwhelmed with pride as I watch my brother take on the role of police chief. This journey didn't begin today, it didn't even begin at the academy. It began when you were just 14, when we started the Police Explorers, putting on that uniform for the first time. As a young teenager, you were already drawn to service, discipline, protecting others. Even then, there was something about this calling that felt natural to you. While most kids at this age were still figuring out who they wanted to be, you already took the first step to who you wanted to become. Over the years, the path was not easy. It was filled with long nights, difficult calls, and moments of real uncertainty. Calls of SWAT, ERT responses. You always had that uneasiness feeling when those calls would come in. It was a heavy weight, just knowing that the lives of others depended on you and your decisions. Those moments tested your strength, your courage, and your resolve. But they also shaped him into the leader who understands pressure, responsibility, and the true cost of service. Through it all, your parents were always your biggest supporter. Mom's not here physically here today, but that absence is felt deeply. I know without a question that her presence surrounds us. She believed in you, TJ, long before the badges, the ranks, and the titles. She believed in your character, your heart, your dedication to do what you felt was right. If she were here, she would be smiling ear to ear, telling everyone she met on the streets, saying that her son was the chief of police. To the officers and members of this department, all you guys in the back, he knows what it's like to be in your shoes, from the ground up. Someone who stood where you stand, felt the unease that you guys feel, and he'll never forget why he chose this profession in the first place. TJ, your journey, it started at 14 years old when you were on the Police Explorers, and now you're the Chief of Police. It's nothing short of remarkable. It's a testament to your dedication, your resilience, and your unwavering commitment to serve. I'm incredibly proud to call you my brother. And I know, while Mom cannot say it herself, I know she's incredibly proud, along with the rest of the faculty here today. Congratulations, Chief Daniel.
Thank you all for joining us for this new beginning, again, as we start with 2026 and our new chief. I am going to ask the committee for a 5-minute recess, so you are more than welcome to stay for the meeting. Otherwise, you can congratulate TJ. All in favor of a recess, say aye. Aye.
Motion to return to regular session.
Can I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. We have now entered the first public portion of the meeting. The public is reminded to please stand and state their name and address for the record prior to addressing the committee. Can I have a motion to open the floor to the public?
Motion.
I have a motion and any of you want to switch it to a second? Okay. Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The floor is now open for public comment.
Seeing no one move forward, motion to close.
Do I have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Just my job.
Yes, it is. All right. I am looking for a motion for a consent agenda for resolutions 2026-46 through resolution 2026-55. Can I have a motion for a consent agenda?
Motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any removals? Hearing none. Can I get an all in favor?
Aye.
And can I have a motion to adopt resolution 2026-46 through resolution 2026-55?
Motion.
Can I have a second?
Yes.
Okay.
Motion.
Okay. All right, any discussion on any of the resolutions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Committeeman Frederick.
Yes.
Committeewoman Minhas.
Yes.
Committeewoman Williams.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Nocentino.
Yes.
Mayor Mathias.
Yes. All right, reports for the month of December. Administrative report.
Yes, try to go quickly through this. I'll let our engineer go through all the other engineering developments there, and I'll get more to the development on the back. But on the personnel, you can see on the front there, obviously, Andy Hoagland, who's been here for a few years and been doing it for a long time. Great guy, is retiring. And with that, we are looking, as you know, to hire a UCC person as well, an official, as well as a full-time building inspector, as well as electrical part-time and plumbing part-time. And so I can give you a status update on where we are with those as well. CGR, the lead grant consultant, was on site last week to interview fire department and municipal officials as part of their due diligence, so they continue that process to provide a report within the next few months on bringing the fire departments together and that feasibility study. On the commercial end, and obviously it's budget time as well, so we're looking at just starting the process with our new CFO, going through that finance process and getting her kind of up to speed on our budget process here. On the development end, if you go all the way to page 10, you have the Russo development. And that's really a development that's really been here for a bit and not one that I've been very familiar with. Not a whole lot has been going on. I got a call from their attorney this last week that they are interested in doing a pilot program for the pieces of those warehouses that are in Woolwich Township. He said there is a pilot for those sections, whether it's 100,000 square foot, 75% in Harrison, 25% in Woolwich, 75% they have in Harrison does have a pilot, 25% in Woolwich does not, and that may include a few buildings there. So he is interested, his client is interested in doing a pilot with us. So he's going to send us a letter, I'll send it out to you, and we'll begin that process. Any questions on that? No? Good.
I really
Nike-
thought there was an existing pilot there.
We have a pilot for the two that are 100% in Woolwich.
Okay.
We do not have a pilot for the
For that.
two that touch Woolwich, but mostly in Harrison.
Huh, okay.
But the idea was we were going to try to follow what Harrison has provided.
Oh, okay.
Because ours was a bit favorable at the time, and we need to be more in line with today's economy, we'll call it.
Okay.
So it should mirror, if not be harder than what Harrison has, if they even I don't even know if they have a pilot agreement, but that would be my response back is what's Harrison's status on a pilot if they have any, and then we would like to see what that is.
I could contact him and find out what that is.
Or contact Harrison, yeah.
Yeah,
Either.
Harrison. Harrison.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on, Harrison.
Okay. Nike Base does have a TCO, so they're moving forward. Kings Landing Development, it's the Mr. Wolfson project, and they're still in talks with the Turnpike Authority and trying to improve his status in terms of the F rating right now on the traffic study. So he didn't have a great traffic study. He still is in talks with them, and now it really reopens this whole kind of wound with North Point, because now North Point has signed a 5-year agreement with Mr. Bathgate, landowner, and wants to redo that RDA a little bit, so that Mr. Bathgate, if it doesn't happen in 5 years, he's able to reclaim that, so he wants to be part of that EDA to RDA, which we have to discuss as well. But now he's back into conversation with Mark from North Point and to renegotiate that whole deal with Pencoast, a light on 322 and all that. So I don't know where that is. I mean, I do know where that is right now, but that's where that's headed. Residential development on page 15, Kings Meadow. that work continues, looking to build their first model home. Sewer service connections continue. So you'll continue to see the growth. Obviously, you all know the growth on the residential end, and we're looking forward to working on the commercial end as well, the warehouse end, but now also the retail end. If you look at the end of the report, we have stormwater management, which we continue to work on that. You'll hear a little bit about that tonight as well. And then on the retail development, we are working with, I did share with you last month that working with the site locator for a lot of national chains that you'd all be familiar with, restaurants and such. And it looks like the property, and we showed them all on 322 with lights, which everybody wants, trying to control what we can control. We can't control the Wilson property. We can't control some of the other properties along 322. A lot of these end users do not want the large 50-acre, 60-acre, 100-acre lots, and so they work with developers to purchase those lots, sell them off their piece, and then develop the rest. On the corner of 322 and Kings Highway, which has been the only piece that Mr. Wilson does not own, there is a developer who's been able to get those families together, which has been the difficult part. Work a deal out with them, and it looks like they're going to get site control of that property. And then they're in talking with now the site locator for these national chains, who's desperately said his clients want that corner.
Are you talking about the triangle part of, basically where it's adjacent with Garwin, or are you talking about the other side?
More of a triangle that divides Wilson and this property, 25 acres right on the corner.
Just to be clear,
DDO.
we're talking about where the potential affordables are going, or are we talking about?
Across the street.
Okay, across the
Yeah.
street. Thank you.
Yeah.
Across Kings Highway, I should say.
So about
Got it.
25 acres there.
Okay.
So that's very positive in terms of negotiating a deal with the family, as well as speaking with the developer who wants that and has relationships.
But that's an MUD zone, correct?
Not the front.
Not
Just
the
a
front?
section,
Okay.
yeah. So, commercial. So that's 10.
Any questions for the administrator? I know we're going to touch a lot in closed session, but
I do have two questions. One, going back to Kings Meadows, you noted in your report that there's sewer connection fee questions or concerns. What are,
that's executive session.
oh, that's executive session? Okay, I will ask a lot of questions at that time. And then the second one is for the SADC proposal. Okay, I can ask the question. Okay, so we're saying that they're seeing if we're going to counter on our own proposal? Is that what I read?
They came back and said that we're not going to give you the information that you want of how we came up with. They came up with the proposal. We said we want information how you got to that number. They said, no, we're not going to give it to you. We have not responded to that
Yep.
yet.
Forgive me.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so can we just counter back with our
Well, so
memo again?
we can, but what we were waiting to see if there was any new appointments
Yeah.
in the Department of Ag, and there is not, so it's the same. Ed Wengren is still there. And we have a meeting scheduled tomorrow with Assemblyman Bailey and with Commissioner Wang, because Commissioner Wang is liaison to the Gloucester County Agricultural, and they are very interested in pushing this forward. So we figured in between the three of us, and then of course we have Berzacelli, who's looked into all this as well, that we're going to see what's the best path forward, because we have a couple options. One, it is doing a counteroffer, which again, we think the counteroffer should be zero, but again, maybe hearing what the other attorneys and other people should say. If they come up with other ideas, if we handle it legislatively, or if we litigate. So we have several options. We'll know more after the meeting tomorrow.
Okay.
So I'll be able to report next month on that.
Okay, thank you.
But right now, no action has been taken because, again, other than trying to ask them for a justification of how they pulled this out of a hat.
I think the most interesting part about that is when the farce of a meeting of the TDR Bank Board met, they said that there would be no deliberations in closed session and came out with an answer and refused to tell us how they got there. So,
Right.
interesting procedural move there.
Very, very much so. And again, I think the thing that just bothers me the most is that their budget for farmland preservation this year is $452 million that they have just straight off as their budget in order to preserve farmland. And Woolwich right now has the opportunity for zero of it, which is
Ridiculous.
absolutely ridiculous. It's frustrating. It's beyond frustrating. And they're going to come after us for money that we use to preserve land. It just makes no sense. Now my blood pressure's up. All right. Any other questions for the administrator that we can talk about in open? All right. Thank you, Jim. All right. Tax collector report is submitted. Woolwich Fire Company.
Good evening, everybody. You guys have my report that includes, basically breaks down the year end of 2025. December was pretty much a busy month, and we'll get into that year end report here. We had 85 incidents, 37 in Woolwich, 6 on the Turnpike, 4 in Logan, 1 in Deptford, 1 in East Greenwich, 1 in Pennsbury, Salem County, 20 in Swedesboro, 9 in South Harrison, 2 in Woodstown Borough, 1 in Harrison, 1 in Woolwich Township. The fire company set another record in closing of 2025 with 815 calls of service, which is a 5.3 increase from the past year, 2024-25. So we actually jumped immensely with the call volume. A lot of that call volume was in Swedesboro, Woolwich, and our mutual aid shrank a little bit just because we've changed our response cards and different things on how we handle incidents in different municipalities, so it's kind of shrank a little bit. Turnpike picked up a little bit, and Logan's like shrank a little bit, things like that. So it's just, that's where it was, but the majority of the calls were Swedesboro, Woolwich in our district. Swedesboro significantly increased by 26%, which was an all-time high for them. I mean, in the past, it's always been less. And if you look back at the year-end stuff here, go to the pie chart on this page. So right here. So the pie chart, so Swedesboro had 141 calls with 17%. Woolwich had 433 calls with 53%. Out of 100%, that little part there, you still have your mutual aid and everybody else, your Turnpike calls. So if you look at that volume, all these numbers come from the county system. So none of these numbers are made up. We don't add calls, this and that. All this information we get from the Pro Phoenix system every time it's dispatched and our NIFRS reporting system. So that's where all this percentage comes from. So if you look down at the bottom, it says in 2023, Woolwich had 353 and Swedesboro had 82, and then in 2024, Woolwich had 139 and Swedesboro went up to 106, and in 2025, Woolwich had 433 and Swedesboro had 141, right? So the increase on the side, 22.4%, 26.3% for Swedesboro. So Swedesboro's actually picked up. A lot of it's alarm system, just like everywhere else in the township, alarm systems. So you can kind of read the report. It breaks it up, spells it out pretty good. There's basically what the year-end report was for the year. So on with the testing part of it, we put out our notice back in December for accepting for applicants for the 3 career firefighter jobs personally. We had 92 applicants apply for that position. After we went through the process and looking at the certifications we asked for, 54 of those people were X'd out before they even took the test because they just didn't have the service, the time, or the proper certifications to meet what we need. So then when it came down to testing, we ended up with another 30-some people that took the test. You know, the test was administered by the fire academy. There's a Fire 1, Fire 2 test. First night we were supposed to have 20-some people. We ended up with 12 because a lot of people didn't want to pay the $35 fee, and a lot of them from North Jersey didn't want to make the trek down, so a lot of them opted out. So we ended up with 12. First night on that exam, 1 person passed the exam out of 12 people. You had to have a 70 to pass, a 70 and above to pass, and people were getting 59s and 60s. These are career guys that are fire departments all place want to come here. They did not pass the test. 1 guy passed the test out of them, had 78. Swing back to Wednesday night. Wednesday night came in. I was involved with the grant people doing a study at a different separate meeting. They conducted a test. Another 14 people showed up for the test. They took the test. 7 of those people out of the 14 passed the test. 6 of them passed that test. Again, people were getting 50s, 60s. It's a basic fire one, fire two test. It's common knowledge. Anybody should pass it. Listen, I'm hard taking tests sometimes and I gotta read the question. People were making mistakes when they would read the question out and the Scantron, they would hurry up and circle it and then they go back, oh no, they can answer, erase it, put it out. And it went through the Scantron computer. And at the end, when I looked at it with the director of the fire academy, I said, what happened? He said, a lot of people had the right answer, but then they second guessed themselves, erased it, and it was multiple choice. So that's where a lot of that came from. But we're down now. They went to the physical part, which was last Saturday at the fire academy. Those 7 guys, they passed the physical test. I have the chiefs panel, which is on February 7th, which is 4 career fire chiefs coming in. They'll do an interview process of about 45 minutes per person. They'll go through it, they'll score them, and then we'll look at the scores to see who pans out there, and then we'll pick the next process. And then the final process will be with the mayors, myself, and everybody else. We'll go through an interview process with those gentlemen to see who we're going to pick at the end. And then hopefully by the 14th of February, we'll have 3 individuals picked, take the career step into the history year for the fire department. I did the other night, Committeeman Williams, Deputy Mayor Santino, some of the council people from the borough came in. The grant writer presented us with our jumbo check for the FEMA grant. We were able to get some pictures, went through the process. Thank you for everybody coming out. That'll be in Newtown Press. We also talked to the grant writer. We're going to be, they're going to resubmit for the tender, which is $1 million cap. We didn't know this. It's $1 million cap, so we're going to resubmit for the tender. We're also going to put in for brand new air packs for all the whole station again, because in 2028, our packs will be up. And that price tag there will probably be about $750,000. So I'm going to play for a federal grant to grab that. He says we have a good shot at getting it. So hopefully we get that grant. That'll be $750,000. By the time our packs are due to be replaced, it'll probably be almost $500,000 the way the economy is and things like that picking up. So we're going to save the communities, both communities, a lot of money if we get this grant this year for that. So that'll put the department another 15 years ahead that we don't have to worry about purchasing. And that's basically it. Any other questions for me?
Thank you for your annual report. I don't have it in front of me, but this was, of course, the first year that we had that you were able to charge back for the turnpike. Mm-hmm. How much money did that bring in, do you know?
Less than $4,000.
How come?
Just because the call volumes weren't there. We had some call volumes for the ones we charged. A couple of calls we did not charge for because 2 of them were fatalities, and the state police were investigating. They said, we can't give you that information. And we just said, wrote them off. So between the turnpike and what we had in town, it's less than $4,000. And I'll actually have that number printed out, and I'll send it in the next report so you'll see that.
Okay. And for the committee's notification, in the meantime, as we're getting set up to bring on these firefighters, there is still negotiations going on back and forth with Swedesboro as far as what the percentage share is going to be. So we have those meetings scheduled, as well as this year-end report, I think will help us determine what exactly that percentage share will be. So we'll have all that information to present to the committee for the next, probably in the next meeting, I'm hoping. So make a note, let's get Tom back in. Any further questions for Chief?
Yeah, just one. So I know we went up about 100 calls in 2025 over 2024. So I was just looking at the numbers. What I didn't see is, of the 100, where was the majority of that difference? All I see is the pie chart that shows about 34% was for fire alarm, but that was just kind of the pie chart for the year. I was just curious if you happen to know off the top of your head, or just in general, what you think the biggest increase was?
Where they were in the community.
No, not specifically. Just I know we have a net 100 new calls over last year. So of that 100, is it mostly in the false fire alarm?
I'm going to say majority was probably in the fire alarm system and probably motor vehicle crashes.
Okay.
So
that makes sense because of what the pie chart showing.
I can tell you this, and I know the FM can speak for that. Probably a good 25% or maybe 50% of those calls were group homes. Constant group homes. Since Fred and his team have gotten out there, they've actually closed that gap a little bit, and we're getting less. And here's what we found out. So down the road, and Fred will probably touch base on this, the group homes changed alarm companies. So they never told their providers or their caretakers in the place that they had changed them. They just opted switched out. And when they would go and do fire alarm tests, They call and the people say, yeah, okay, and hang the phone up. And then when the people would pull the alarm would go off because they had another dispatching service. So since Fred's group picked that up and they discussed it with those groups and they found out that he changed it, we knock on a piece of wood that has slowed down the volume of calls for the group homes on the alarm system. You still get the clients pulling the alarms when they do, but as for the cooking incidents and the mishaps in the showers and the like, that has stopped. Even when they do their fire alarms now, they have the proper process. They call ahead of time and say, hey, we're going to put the fire alarm on test for 30 minutes. We're going to do a fire drill. And it's worked. So that's slows the things down, which made it immensely for us.
Okay. Because I know we talked about that a couple months ago, of like what action, what can we do, whether it be part of a newsletter or part of anything, just to help with that number one call volume. So.
Right.
Good to hear.
And like I explained to the mayor before, and you guys have heard, I mean, we could offer all kinds of information. In my own home, I check my smoke detectors in October. I check them, quite a bit on fire chief, right? I think people are so busy anymore in their day-to-day duties, they forget all about that. Their CO detectors. We had one the other night, the lady that was 15 years old, and we still got to replace them. They're past their time. So.
Yeah. Mine just beat last week, and it was 10 years. I'm like, it's not been 10 years since I replaced mine.
Now they put a sealed battery in there, which is brilliant.
Yeah, he says they're not that good.
And they're not good either.
No.
The guys on the street, out of the apartment complex, they went and changed all the smoke detectors in all the apartments.
Yeah.
And at 3 o'clock in the morning, we were getting 2 or 3 apartments at a time with the fire alarm going off. I said, this is crazy. And I spoke to the maintenance guy. I said, what did you do? He said, we changed all the detectors.
Mm-hmm.
They got the 10 years. And listen, things aren't built like they were back in the day. I mean,
Oh, my goodness.
I got 2 years out of the 10-year one, the sealed battery one.
Sorry for being optimistic.
Yeah.
I got 10 years and 3 months before it beeped. I'm like, it's not been 10 years.
Good for you.
But
Good
it
for
is.
you.
So,
I have a question. So why can't we charge for the turnpike fatalities?
say this again now.
Why couldn't we charge for the turnpike for the accidents that were fatalities?
Because it's an investigation and they wouldn't release the information until the investigation was done. One of the biggest ones, which would have been a big moneymaker, was the true tractor trailers that were going down from exit 1 up to 2, and they crashed and the driver drove off, pushed the truck off the highway, he drove off, but because it was a big investigation and everything like that, the state police would not release the information. So when it comes down to fatalities because of wrongdoing or things like that, they hold it until an investigation is done. So
They would want you to have the investigation concluded.
Yes.
Or want them to have the investigation concluded, which I guess to Committeewoman's point is it worth looping back? I mean, those investigations could, it's a big deal, people died. 6 months or more, but I guess at the end.
And insurance companies might for you too. You next thing you see a bill come up, the insurance company's gonna say, yeah, this guy's passed and this is not over with. So-
Well, this is one of their lesser issues if they've had a couple fatalities.
But don't we get money from the turnpike?
You do, you get a small snippet, per quarter from the Turnpike Authority. Yes, you do. It's like 75, it's less than $100, $75 a call.
Per incident.
That's just for the roll, yeah.
Yeah.
So the majority of the money comes from the person?
Comes from the
Not-
insurance company.
The insurance company.
The person who was killed, insurance company.
Well, the accident, let's
Yeah.
just go, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Well, probably the insurer for the tractor
Yeah.
trailer.
Truck, and the company, correct.
It's probably not a private vehicle.
But, like the trooper said, a lot of these common carriers down there, they're their own owner-operators. And they'll have their own insurance, and some of them, a lot of them, they don't even pay up on insurance. I mean, when he was looking, at that truck that night there, he's like, this guy's got insurance, but he canceled here, he's got a new insurance company. So he said, I don't even know if he's even got insurance to be on the road. That's how some of these common carriers are, owner-operators. They're just in the business to make their extra.
That would be worth knowing also.
Yep.
For entirely different reasons.
So hopefully, we'll see a little bit better deal here come 2026 with charging for some things, and we'll see that. But like I said, we'll have that number, we'll bring that over.
Is there a way to charge the turnpike more than 75?
No, that's them. That's how their authority does it. And that's
They
up and
make
down,
the
that's up
laws.
and down the turnpike.
We can make the laws, but we can't enforce them. They make the laws, they can enforce them.
and this might be a Fred question, but I know we had talked about, again, these group homes increasing, we had the graduated rates. Have we done that this year?
No, we have not. It's still been the same since day one.
Okay,
We will be addressing it first quarter.
okay,
Presenting to committee and the council.
okay.
All right.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Take care.
Thank you, Mayor, committee. The chief kind of stole my thunder there a little bit, but he's spot on and 100% of what we do. What I've found a lot is the education. And again, he touched on, people are busy and doing other things, and, not everybody looks at their smoke detector every day. Me, I'm a little different. I look at my smoke detector every day. It is what it is. But the biggest thing is the education and spotting these things and seeing what's going on. It's part of our job, part of our roles and responsibility. Seeing what we did, the alarms in the group homes came down immensely. Just with seeing what was going on, industry knowledge, and educating. It's the biggest thing. So with that, that's basically, a lot of what we do. So we're really proactive on that. So I submitted my report, and we're into 26, obviously now starting fresh. So we will go back and inspect for 2026 all the businesses in the town and borough. We submitted our report, our 2025 annual report, which was attached to your packets there, that was approved by New Jersey Division of Fire, and we are in full compliance with it. A couple of acronyms that pop out: LEA, Local Enforcing Agency, that's the Fire Bureau. LHU, Life Hazard Use. So there's different classifications per buildings. A warehouse of a certain size is a LHU of 1 number. The mega warehouse that's sitting vacant is another LHU number. There's fees that is law, and it's under the Division of Fire Safety. For that group, it's X amount of dollars. The state issues the invoice on that. When that property pays for it, we get a percentage of that. The state gets a percentage of it. They do the invoicing and everything. We, as the LEA, have to go out and do the inspections on those. That's where we get our percentage that comes back. Goes into the Fire Bureau, that's the operating expense. It pays for us to go out and do what we have to do for the inspections per law, per what the guidelines are. So it kind of spells that out a little bit about it. The audit reports, I submitted both, which was part of our SSA that we had to disclose everything, which we did. You had last year as you got this year's. You'll see a little bit of fluctuation. Some of the businesses where we got some new businesses come in and we've lost some businesses. So that's where you get the up and down from last year to this year. Hopefully we'll get more new ones this year and it'll increase. Let's see what else we got here. So again, getting into 26. There was a law that was changed back February of 2025 that smoke alarms need to be tested and inspected by a licensed inspector, New Jersey Division of Fire Safety licensed inspector.
Upon the sale of a
resale or rental.
Right.
You have the 3 guys on the Fire Bureau. We were able to jump in and we have helped out with the construction department, working out some logistics on it, but we're able to do it so we're in full compliance. With that, we sign off with our division number on it. we're meeting the law, what the current law is, and we'll continue to do so. What that's doing is enhancing us as the fire bureau. Now we're into the residential. We're still doing the commercial, but now we're getting more into the residential. How that works for me, and the chief will be able to attest to it, that when we see certain things, we pass it on to the fire department, to the responders. Guys get out there at 2 in the morning. Hey, better look out for this address because you got potentially this problem. Whereas before we weren't getting that information when others were doing the enforcing of it. So it's a plus for us. I've gained so much knowledge in the residential just by being here with a short period of time, and it's just beneficial all around. Sorry to be winded.
No.
I have a question. Is there a cost for that inspection?
That's through the construction department, yes. They have fees that are set.
So do you believe that because this SSA now has expanded more into residential, that we need to redo the SSA?
So there's got to be an addendum somewhere along the line, whether it's through that SSA or through the code enforcement.
Okay.
Quite frankly, I haven't had time to sit and read from our last meeting and discussion.
Okay.
But we wanted to keep the wheels rolling and make sure we were in compliance.
Understood and appreciated. We also need to schedule a meeting about that radio booster.
Yes.
So let's schedule that as well.
For the bi-directional amplifiers.
Right.
Large buildings or radios, both for us and the police department. Taking the mega warehouse, if we were in one part of the building and they have product inside, we may not be able to hear someone transmitting from the other end of the building coming across. So the amplifier, it's a repeater. It's your boosters throughout. That's what the mayor is referring to.
Thank you. Any questions?
Yeah, just one more. In terms of the LEA report itself, you were talking about the LHU codes. Just trying to make sure, and I can follow up with an email as well, but there's an item in here that basically says fees issued, 39,000, rebate amount, roughly 25,000, and then fees collected about 30,000. So it just wasn't mathematically calculating correctly. So when you go through fees issued versus rebate amount versus fees collected, what are the net differences?
So there's a percentage, it's 70-30. State, when they do it, they keep their 70%, 30% comes back to us, based off of the amount of LHUs. And again, a warehouse could be X amount of dollars. A smaller warehouse is substantially less at X amount of dollars coming across their fees that are already in law. That's how that percentage comes up. Now, also in that, there's a line that drops down for non-life hazard use, meaning a smaller, use the phrase mom and pop shop. We charge the $50 business registration fee out of it. That's included in that. I think it should have been broken out a little different. It would be.
Yeah, it just doesn't flow. I'll take a snapshot and send it to you, because it's not. Because what would be a rebate example? Because it says rebate amount $25,000.
That's our 30%.
That's our portion of it. Okay.
Yeah, that comes back, and again, that's operating expense for the fire bureau, pays salary, vehicles, etc.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good evening.
All right, police report as submitted because they're not here in person to give it. All right, township engineer.
Yep.
Mark.
Good evening, Mayor and Committee. You have my report. I just want to highlight a couple things that have been updated since I submitted. The 2026 municipal aid for Back Creek Road. I met on site with Public Works, and due to the lower amount of the grant money that the state awarded than what we were expecting, comparatively to pave a portion of Back Creek Road, it would be a very small portion, so essentially wouldn't be worth using that money strictly for paving. So at the mayor's request, looked into it with Public Works to see if we could help address some of the problem washout areas along Back Creek Road. So when going out on site with Public Works, we identified two areas that would be applicable for this. The area between Eric Court and Regal's Court, and then the area between Russell Mill Road and Nocentino. So the priority will be the portion between Erica and Regal. We'll do a preliminary estimate, see if there will be enough money left over to handle the second section. And we'll submit a proposal for that forthcoming and try and get that design moving. But that is the plan, to use those funds for this year. The 120.
Public Works said that the Erica Court one is worse than the other side?
Yes.
Huh, okay.
Just in terms of how much they've had to put backfill, go out there for calls, and yeah. That's the one it's most, as soon as you pull off from Kings Highway and you drive east on Back Creek Road, it's essentially the first dip that you come to with the guy rails on the side. Oh, okay. So,
yeah.
All right.
I know exactly what you're talking
Okay,
about.
no.
That was the first one versus the other.
The one, the other one that was the one that we're using the 2023 funds for, but that's already, going to be allegedly done starting this month, but I can speak further to that later. The 120 Holly Drive storm sewer repairs, we had a pre-construction meeting on Wednesday morning with the contractor, Paving Plus. We issued an notice to proceed letter starting next Monday, weather permitting. They do need some cooperation with the weather. It has to be warm enough for them to do the asphalt road restoration and the concrete curing. So we say you guys can start on Monday, but if the weather doesn't give them what they need, then they'll have to push it back until it's warm enough for them to do the work.
Polar vortex are supposed to get over the weekend.
Probably not going to start next Monday. We've been in contact with Paving Plus, and they even mentioned, they said it's looking like next week probably isn't going to happen, but at least they know that. And we talked about during the pre-construction meeting that whenever the weather cooperates, they'll let us know, give adequate notice to the residents, and they'll get started. Lock Avenue Park, still ongoing, still on schedule. We just got the Gloucester County road opening permit for the wet tap installation along Lock Avenue. That came in earlier this month. Forwarded that information along to the contractor, along to Aqua. There was one small RFI that the contractor had submitted to us about the water meter pit and the backflow preventer on site. They just had a couple questions regarding location. We had to coordinate with Aqua because at some point that's an Aqua determination too of where things are located, where they like everything to be on site. So we were going back and forth with Aqua this afternoon where we left things off last. It's in their court. We sent an email back later in the afternoon. Probably didn't have a chance to respond to us, and we'll pick it back up tomorrow morning. But that's very close to being answered. And then once we give the answer back to the contractor, then they just have to, again, wait for the weather for asphalt restoration, and they'll be ready to do the wet tap installation and finish up the water system, installing that as well.
So when do you project that would take place?
It's hard to say because, again, they need the weather, same as Paving Plus does for the other job. I was speaking with the contractor this morning, and they said as soon as they get the RFI answer back, they can start putting things in motion in terms of setting the actual dates. But they depending on the weather as well.
A month, 6 weeks, 8 weeks?
Probably within the month.
Okay.
I would say. And they have to coordinate with the county and Aqua as well for inspection. So that, yeah.
Is it, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, it's just a one-way road closure?
Correct. The southbound side will be closed, and then flagging direction each way. That was really the biggest current update I had. I didn't know if you had any questions about Lock Ave.
Oh, you want to get into the lights?
Yes. Okay.
Let's get into the lights.
Okay.
I'll start.
Okay.
I have a light question, but proceed.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Well, all right. So built into the base package that we accepted when we accepted the package from Wyndham was lights onto the new fields. So those are already installed and actually up and operational, and our staff has already been trained on it because those are must-go lights. Musco is the name brand of the fixtures and the light poles. They've been fully integrated into our system. They've been tested out. I don't know if you've driven past, but you can see those lights are on there. So we then asked Musco to give a quote for F, G, H, and I, which is the existing park. And Mark, they came back at?
Musco came back at $905,628. That's an all-in material plus installation from the contractor.
Right, because they're using the, it's not Wyndham, not.
Deerfield is the sub.
Deerfield. So they're using Deerfield, and again, that allows us to do it through the package. So that's $905,000, which is in line with what the soccer estimates had given us about however many years ago of about $250,000 per field. However, then we went to the League of Municipalities. I went to go talk to another contractor who I saw there, and it's Geosport Lighting. Geosport Lighting has been around for about 25 years. They're mainly in the south. They have just expanded into this area. They have same, of course it's all proprietary, but so they have a very similar product to Musco, LED lights. They have a web-based app as well as manual on-off. And I'm mentioning all this because, Mark, what did that quote come in at?
$723,837.43.
So I bring that to the committee because I need committee approval to move forward with this. And if we move forward, they are able to start, either way, they're able to start trenching now while the fields are still at rest, run the conduit to where they need it to be run. And then as they get closer, it's if we go with the Geosport Lighting, it is a 6-week turnaround time, and then they just have to dig the pits, which is 10 feet down to dig the pits for that. So we can get that done whenever we can coordinate with Deerfield. So this is really where it comes down to questions for the committee, but I have to say, not surprised at the difference in between the two, but then my question to you is, do you notice a quality difference in between the two? Because they all spec'd it out according to R&V's design parameters, correct? So.
Right, yes, the design, I gave the same design parameters to both, and they each provided their own concept plans for lighting all the fields to those specifications. In terms of quality, it's hard to tell from the page itself. I can't speak to, I know you said Geosport's kind of new in the area. I know a lot of our work has been from Musco that we've done in other parks. I can't speak to the quality difference between the two in that sense. I can follow back with our main site team lead and see if she's ever used Geosport and she has any comments based off of their work.
Right.
But yeah.
So again, these are LED Instant On. They also offer a 25-year warranty on these that they will cover maintenance and labor or everything. So if anything goes wrong, and I said, well, because again, I'm used to our existing lights where you have to wait till a certain percentage are out and then we get them fixed. And nope, if one goes bad, they come right out and they work with Deerfield to replace it and fix it right away. So it seems to have all the capabilities that Musco does. I ran it by Brian Hughes so he could take a look at it, and Dom, and they are in favor of it if the committee is in favor of it. But so we could get this up and operational for a significant savings if we go with this other provider. So I want to know what questions the committee might have about these difference in lights, or if you are good to proceed.
I have a question. Yeah. Is this the lights for just F, G, H, and I?
Yeah.
And that amount, that 905, was that planned for?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. When we bonded over so that we can make these improvements. Okay. But again, if we don't have to spend it, I don't want to spend it.
And I think we also have it generically where it does not have to be tied to just Lock Avenue. Where you said this thing is still tied to park stuff. But I think we can, the $200,000 or so, we could use it for a dog park or whatever we might want to do. That's a very expensive dog park. And they were not like, so, but that was going to be my question along those lines is, do we know from a calculation perspective, total amount that we have bonded for versus take out the 700 to 900, whatever the number will be, what is our balance?
Well, I could find that out easily
Okay.
from the CFO,
Yep.
what our balance is. But either way, we had enough to cover the 900,000.
Yep.
So if we're only spending 700 out of it, I'd much rather do that.
I mean, this never happens that something's cheaper than we expected, so I would say we take advantage of that opportunity.
And there's no hidden, that's the.
That's it, that's all in. That's the price, like I said, it includes that 25-year maintenance warranty, it includes the app for 10 years, which is absolutely fantastic. And in fact, today we just had a meeting about cameras and adding camera systems to High Hill Park and Lock Avenue Park. So don't worry, we will be spending some of the money that we just saved in order to apply it towards cameras. But so yeah, we had a meeting today with police, with Public Works, Jim and myself to talk about camera locations. And we even brought in Kingsway IT to see, because they helped with the setup for the existing cameras at Lock Avenue Park. But, okay, so other than finding out the total of amount, are there any other questions specific to the lighting?
Just lighting schematics themselves. I noticed in looking at the pickleball court numbers, I'm not exactly sure how it all works, but obviously a baseball is very hard and is going to a 8-year-old, 10-year-old. So just making sure the lights themselves are built for baseball fields for H&I.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
yes.
Yeah, these are 40-foot high.
Oh, I know, but you could have them in a spot where it still creates a dark zone in, say, left center field.
No, they all have to be a certain lumens, and that was all.
I can send you the schematics that they
But there's no
provided.
dark point where there's safety concern in your view.
No, there's a plan and it has kind of like the number of lumens at each, point along, and those are all
perfect.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. So then I think I would need a motion to move forward with the purchase of these geosport lighting.
Well, indeed, but at this point, I mean, is it really, are you prepared to move forward? I mean, you really don't have all the details, but if you have enough.
That's what I'm asking.
Then you
I guess,
do.
what details do we need?
Well, no, it's,
Because the thing I'm interested in is getting that trenching done, regardless of who we're going for, before we open up the fields in March.
So I wasn't part of this, so just educate me. There was, I'll call it an RFP that was published to these people. You said there was 2 people that came in with a response to, I presume an RFP or something.
It was no official, so this is being done as a change order under the existing contract.
All right, well enough. And now you've got this, I'm just trying to think do you have an obligation to put it out there? But that's why I'm trying to establish.
And that's why using Deerfield, it falls underneath, like it's still a change order.
Yeah, this is a change order, okay.
Okay, well, I would still want committee to approve.
No, that's what I mean.
Okay.
No, you're going to go staff committee.
You're trying to do it right now or at the next meeting?
Well, I'm asking if you are comfortable doing it now, or if you need additional information.
I would just like to see the contract.
Okay.
And have it all laid out. And then, I mean, it makes sense for sure.
I can get the full change order numbers and everything from the contractor.
Just the sheer volume of it.
And
you put the lumens.
Right, I'll send the concept plans, the change order. I'll send it to Jim or the mayor, and you guys can distribute it however you
I'm
want.
saying if we're going to get a foot of snow, they're not going to be digging anything in the next 2 weeks
Right.
anyway.
Right, exactly. Okay.
I would just add to, maybe see with your team lead if they would say, if this was in the contract, would it be an approved equal? They consider it an approved equal? So what Musco would provide?
I would have to double check, but I would double check, but my initial thought would be yes.
Just wanted to see, because then that does make it more apples for apples then.
Okay.
To the spec.
Okay.
So the quality, quantity, everything we wanted.
Okay.
As long as it would be an approved equal, then it would have to equate to the Musco provide.
Can we go back to Musco, since it's not an official RFP, and just...
Oh, they know.
Okay, I figure they would, but making sure.
All right, so thank you, committee, and it sounds like we got our homework to move forward for the next meeting.
Okay.
Okay?
So coming back to the Russell Mill and Back Creek Road, the 2023 municipal aid project, last I spoke with South State, they said they were going to begin the Back Creek Road portion this month. That was earlier this month. So far, I haven't heard if they've started yet from our inspector, Josh. There's still a couple weeks left. We'll see if they drag it out into February, but that was the last I heard for that work. And that's all the updates that I have for.
Okay, well, I'm going to
for
go back to the
report.
park and tell them
Okay.
about two things. So I went out to the park a couple weeks ago and walked out there with Public Works. One of the items that is inside the bid spec, well, there's two sheds, storage sheds, 12 by 24 storage sheds, and they both have concrete pads on them. But the location of one of those is in between the two softball fields, facing basically the furthest away from the road, the furthest away from everything. And even with cameras, Public Works thoughts is that that is not an ideal location for a storage shed. So there's a nice, lovely concrete pad there that can be repurposed for picnic tables or for bleachers or anything we want there. And Public Works can use that storage shed just in a different location. So I told Mark that we will take possession of that. Public Works is going to take possession of it, but just put it in a different location where they can actually use it instead of that far off location off of the beaten track and nowhere near a road or anything like that. So that was one thing. The second thing I know has come up as we've gone over this is the dugouts. So the dugouts, the design that's in there calls for a chain link fence around 4 posts. So to which we've said we're not really enamored with that idea, but so what we're going to do is go out to bid to find somebody who can do a cinder block to match the existing one. So that would be done outside of the contract for that. And R&V, as I brought up, to engineer the cinder block dugouts, quoted $5,000 to do the design for a cinder block dugout, to which I made an assumption committee. I said no. So I said, we'll figure it out. So we're going to be looking to then move forward with getting quotes for dugouts.
Is that something we could do Eagle Scout project? I mean, all you're doing is putting blocks on top of each other.
Well,
Obviously, we need someone who has supervision with it. Right?
Yes, you would think, and our existing dugouts were built by volunteers back in the day, but there is rebar and reinforcement that is needed so that it doesn't, kind of go to the wayside or fall down. So we do want to make sure that it is done correctly, but I think it can probably become a hybrid project where, we have somebody who has that knowledge who can get it started. And even if it's a community build, that would be a fantastic thing to do as a community. Come out and help put together the dugouts.
You can put your name on a brick.
Right, right.
You do it on the roads all the time.
See, there you go. So that's something that the committee needs to take into consideration as we move forward. And we have I don't want to say a little bit of time because by the time we get done with that, but it's something for the committee to consider and start thinking about is what we're going to do, how we're going to go about these cinder block dugouts for the softball fields.
We're going to reach out to a couple of CMU contractors.
No.
As well, just to get their thoughts.
I think we're always looking for some type of volunteer element. Like you said, with supervision, I think it's a fun idea.
Yep. So I think those were the two other things that came out of our last.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Sorry. Any further questions on the park or other engineering topics?
Just one on Oliphant's Mill. I see that you have a note that you submitted to FEMA to extend to 12/31/2026.
Yes.
When was that submitted, and when do we expect to hear back?
That was submitted beginning of December of 2025. I'll reach out again to our FEMA rep with the state police. As far as I know, everything is good, but I'll double check again to see if they've accepted that time extension for end of 2026.
I thought Sam said we did get certification. Do you remember? I thought
that
he said we were good.
That could have came through, and I wasn't copied on it because I think that all that happened when I was away. But I think
I'm pretty sure that.
Sam I was just looking at the report; it just says submitted. So
okay, yeah. Sure. Sam sent out something that it was updated and accepted. So we have to get something done by December 31st. So the status of that right now, correct me if I'm wrong, but everything was submitted to the county. The county has to certify our plans, and then they're also going to be sending it up on our behalf back to FEMA.
Dam safety.
Dam safety.
Yes.
Dam safety.
They have to decommission the dam and approval from dam safety is needed for that.
Yeah,
So, yes.
and with doing that, the county has put in, they're going to cover 50% of the engineering fees and of the H&H analysis, the additional one that we had to do, so that we can share in the expense of that. So,
We also submitted those costs as well to try and see if we can get that covered under the FEMA grant too, the township portion, and see if that can be covered under the FEMA grant that we received for the road as well.
Why wouldn't it?
Sometimes the scope of a grant is very specific to construction costs as opposed to soft costs. So, but we're just trying to see what we're going to say, this is what it's costing, and see what they give us. And
well, yeah, not just that. I don't think they're giving us any additional money. This is all money that they've already given us, and we're just trying to hold on to what we have.
Right, and
yeah.
We got the 800,000
in 2021. Yeah.
I thought we only got the port. Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah.
It's more of a.
I've never seen it. Oh, okay. Well, that's my Friday conversation.
I guess it's more of an eligible costs type of thing as opposed to whether use it or lose it, just for those costs. But yeah. Okay.
Any additional questions for the engineer?
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Committeeman Frederick.
Liaison reports. I'm like, what? Sorry. Just a couple items. I'm assuming you'll talk about the Almond Creek Holdings, so I'll give that one to you. The two updates I have is...
Hey, that one's yours. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah? All right, I'll take it. So the Elephants Mill Creek Holdings, with the sellout crowd that we have here, we finally got the final decision that that warehouse will not be built, which is spectacular. A lot of great hard work put out by several attorneys, but that is, just to be clear, that is the warehouse that was proposed on Auburn Road, basically just south of here. Again, that was denied by JLUB 3 years ago, and it was held. So it was great. It's a great win for the town that's already been rezoned 5A, so that from an overlay, so that cannot be brought up again unless, again, the Joint Land Use Board makes any type of land decision changes. The other two items I have is just financial review. We have a meeting set up on the 23rd to really focus on the pilots because there's a lot of dollars in there, and obviously with any slippage of building some warehouses that we have in our calculation, that certainly impacts our dollars to pay off not only the sewer fees that we have and sewer costs that we have, but of course other projects and initiatives that we're wanting to use it for as well. And then I just added FEMA dollars to the list just so I know where that's located so we can make sure we use it. And then we do have a couple RDAs that do have some dollars tied to it based off of certain stages of the contracts, as well as where they are within the development. So we'll review that as part of that overall net bundle. So of course, as we go into budget season, certainly that is a big factor. We want to make sure we're not looking at just for 2026, but certainly probably the next 5 years is the key crux from a dollars and cents standpoint. And then on a fun note, for the pickleball, we are looking to do the tournament this year, June 6th and 7th, which I think we were good with from our Parks and Rec. I got a nod, yep. So we are looking for June 6th and 7th for our tournament, which would last 2 years have been very successful. That's my report.
All right, thank you. Any questions? Committeewoman Williams.
Oh, okay. All right. We kicked off Parks and Rec. We kicked off the new year with a second presentation of Prehistoric Life of New Jersey. This was a program that we held in the fall. Again, we were filled to capacity with 40 children plus their families. So that was a great event. Everybody seems to love that. This past weekend, we did indoor mini golf on Saturday, and we had about 50 people golfing.
15 or 50?
50.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Little snafu with making change. We were giving $50, and the park and rec, I got the call that we needed money, but I was 30 minutes away. So luckily, we had 2 Parks and Rec people, and one person ran out and got some dollars to make change at ShopRite. So maybe we can look into this, Jim, with, I was told that the cash box was still not available to us. So, because we have this event like every January, and like if I would have known we only had $50, I would have brought my own money, because you know you'll get it back. But it was just a scrambling. So yeah.
Shannon brought this to me as well. Didn't we in January just approve a $100 fund for Park and Rec?
Petty cash.
Petty cash. So what's the difference between petty cash and change fund?
Change fund, you make change. Petty cash is receipts.
Can you use the petty cash to make change?
It goes on the bill list. They cut the check, but then we have to take it to the bank to cash it, to put it.
Right, but it would be the same amount. You're not using it. You're just making change.
Or whatever. To run indoor mini golf, I need 250.
Well, it sounds like you have 100 at least that you can use.
And so we gathered we gathered a bunch of cash. And I said, Shannon, we have many, you know, I don't know what you're going to do with this cash, but, you know.
Well, I have a feeling that we can use our petty cash since we're not using it. We're just using it as change fund. Sounds like you have $100. So find out if you need more than that.
I would say next year, we need to start off with January 250. And I know how I need the box broken down to get through this event.
Okay.
It just was very clumsy, and I didn't find, like, if I would have known that this was going to be this way, I would have Saturday morning made arrangements to get cash before I went and ran my errands a half hour away. So it was just awkward, very awkward.
All right, well, I would say, again, start with finding out if you can use that 100 in petty cash in ones or fives or whatever your denomination is.
Let's talk.
I don't think that, I don't have it yet, so that's probably
Right,
why.
okay, that's it.
Because once you adopt it, then she has to cut the check, but.
And it's probably.
The check, since I'm the clerk, I have one, it's written out to me, but I have to endorse it to give it to the bank. It's in Williamstown. The guy will take it, cash and bring it back, and I don't know where, I didn't sign anything. I don't know if the checks are cut yet.
So then how about you don't have mini golf in January? How about you have it in February?
Well, see, that is the perfect time because it's a slow time for mini golf. So.
But if we have it this year, the 250 would still be there.
No, because you have to turn it in.
You got to turn it in at the end of December?
At the end of the year.
Yeah.
I have my dog change fund, which that's why I'm surprised she didn't ask for. We would have gave that $50.
Well, it sounds like this is something Jim could take on.
Let's talk about it. I think we can work through this.
So anyway, and upcoming events. Well, we have a craft class. The Master Gardeners of Gloucester County are coming in to teach a class on January 29th, and they're quilling. They're making snowflakes. Then we have I rebranded it. What's it called? It's got an official name. Summer camps, daycares, and sports camps on Saturday, February 21st here. And we're offering free indoor mini golf, so we won't need the box. The problem with this event is we are not getting any vendors. So the committee is now calling people. So it is in jeopardy of being canceled, in which case it would turn into paid mini golf. Okay? And then we are now gearing up for the daddy-daughter dance, which is on February 28th. That's a big deal here. And the mother-son mixer, which is on March 13th. So.
Mike, you get a bingo call on that one?
When is it?
March 13th.
Might be around.
Okay. We would love to have you, Deputy Mayor.
I'm sure you would.
And also, I started working on the Welcome to Woolwich packet. So I've started breaking out the sections and asking various people within the municipal building for their feedback. So stay tuned. A lot of you will get asked to look at something. When I get done the first draft, Jim, you will be on the first draft, and Natalie to review it. Okay?
All right. Thank you. Great work on that. I would also add to there, I know it's tangential to Park and Rec, the wellness program that's going to be kicking off in February. So that's going to be going out in the Woolwich Wow tomorrow, but also for the two new teen program and the adult program for Woolwich Wellness. Any questions for the committee woman? All right, thank you. Committee woman Minhouse.
All right, December trash and recycling summary. There were 80 extra cardboard collections for the month of December. There were 123 metal collections scheduled, which was the equivalent of 1.36 tons, equaling to $190.40, which was received. There were 234 bulk collections, an equivalent of 16.75 tons for the month of December.
All right, thank you. Any questions? All right, Deputy Mayor.
Be quick on the Environmental Commission. I've discussed goals for the year. Still looking for locations for bike racks. I believe the committee intends to purchase 2, one for Swedesboro and one for Woolwich. I talked about all the different events that we intend to be at this year and are looking at a cleanup of one of the cemeteries at Mount Zion AME, which would be a new cleanup because we've done such a good job cleaning up all of our other parks. They're almost too clean to merit the effort. So great work for everyone keeping the parks clean, particularly the person that seems to walk around Lake Narratican Park every day and keep it nice and sparkling. On the education front, we have a few things from Dr. Lavender. So Kingsway Regional High School is announcing the launch of its new School of Education, an innovative multi-year pathway designed for students interested in exploring the wide range of professions that support teaching, learning, and the overall success of schools and communities. This program will officially open to students beginning in the 2026 to 2027 school year. They also brought on a new business administrator, Sharon Ormsby, replacing outgoing Jason Schimpf, who served Kingsway for more than 14 years. And finally, I won't use Dr. Lavender's exact words for they or his, but he did share out a message expressing sadness on the passing of Stephen Iannotti, who was a teacher at Kingsway for quite a long time, as well as an accomplished baseball and football coach. He is missed by many. I know many of my friends that also went to Kingsway expressed their great sadness to this significant loss. So we remember Stephen Iannotti. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Any questions? All right. Again, we had year-end wrap-ups for a lot of these, which the reports are included or they will be coming out in the rest of January. Joint Land Use Board, you guys had a 7-minute meeting, I think, for the swearing in with no business other than that established until February meetings. So very little to report for myself. We have nothing under old business, under new business. So first thing for your consideration, I have now received a letter from one of our residents asking the committee and planning board, writing as a concerned resident of Woolwich Township, to urge you to adopt protective municipal land use ordinances that restrict or regulate data center developments in our community. Reading from Catherine Kelk's letter, she says, with the AI boom driving rapid expansion of data centers across New Jersey, including major projects already underway in Vineland and in northern areas, the state's data center capacity is projected to grow significantly in coming years. These facilities consume enormous amounts of water for cooling, often 1 million gallons a day, and electricity, depleting aquifers, straining the grid, raising residential power prices, and risking outages. Real-world examples include Newton County, Georgia, where a metadata center disrupted water supplies, causing taps to run dry, and communities in Arizona, Virginia, and Texas. Under New Jersey municipal land use law, our township government has the primary responsibility to protect residents from such predatory developments through zoning restrictions and performance standards. We must consider and adopt specific ordinances addressing data centers so we can protect our drinking water and electrical grid usage. So, and then she provides an example of it. So I just wanted to bring this to the attention of the committee to find out, because again, we are the responsible party to see if we want data centers in our community or not. I understand that Atlantic City Electric does not have the capability currently to even have a data center in our area, but we can, should we choose to do so, create language that says either that we don't want that in our area because of these potential risks, or we leave it as is and take it on a case-by-case basis should we ever be approached by one. So I just wanted to bring it to the committee's attention to get you to start thinking about data centers and data centers in Woolwich, and we can circle back to this. So that was it. I just wanted to bring it up to everybody's attention, especially with it going down in Vineland. I highly recommend, if you haven't already, take a read with what's going on down there. So, any questions about that? Again, that was just more information only for right now. All right, stormwater.
As you know, state of New Jersey has given all the municipalities in the state a mandate to come up with, to comply with their state regulations for stormwater management. And so each municipality is trying to, they've kind of said, okay, year 2024 is this, 2025, and we've kind of gone through this even last year. So our stormwater management engineer, Bryson Yates, has come up with a proposal for this year to get us to comply by the end of 2026. So there are various things that we need to do. There's always updates to our stormwater management plan, SP3 plan, as well as MS4 plan, and there's some things we need to, quite a bit of work they need to do on our MS4 plan, which the state wants to know every inlet, every outlet, where the flow is going, what watershed, where the flow is going, and what watershed. They want to know everything. And then we have to upfit about over 600 inlets. And so Public Works Director Brian Hughes has done a good job to look at different options. It looked like today, actually, Bryson Yates came back and said, yes, they believe that was past the option that we have, which is the cheapest and good option, to be able to upfit the 600 inlets. We could do them all this year when we look at the different options. Did exactly how DEP did it, it would be probably $200,000 to be able to upfit all of our inlets. How Brian has it, and this isn't part of this proposal from Bryson Yates, but will be part of the budget process this year. Looks like it probably would be more around $37,000 just by going to a local vendor to be able to get it die cutting specifically and being able to fasten those to each outlet. He believes within a couple of weeks he'd be able to get done in-house. So our engineer is saying, yeah, that passes and believes that will fit. Other towns have done that similar thing. And so cost-wise, it's not an issue. It's kind of something, it's just when we want to do it. If we want to do it all this year, if we want to do half of it this year, half of it next year. But compared to a couple $100,000 of what it would have been, maybe $37,000. That's, again, not in this report. This report that Bryson Yates has given is saying it's going to cost this amount of money, $45,000, to get us to comply with the New Jersey regulations for stormwater management by the end of this year. So they've given you a goal. It says end of this year, you've got to do this, end of 2027, you've got to comply this. So,
or
yeah, We can always go that. Yeah, probably not a lot, but we can push it off another year. They're gonna go into, I know, talking to Ted Wilkinson, our engineer, they're gonna go into watersheds, and they're gonna want us to map out, and that would take some years and hundreds of thousands of dollars, to map out all the watersheds around town, which typically we have developers do that. You purchase this piece of property, you do a wetlands mitigation map and all of that, do their study, and that updates all of our properties piece by piece, just like we have them widen our roads piece by piece on the developer. Well, now the state is saying, we want every municipality to do a watershed mitigation map on your entire town, which we're not gonna do. So, and I don't think most towns are gonna do it. It's just crazy how expensive it would be. So I think they're kind of throwing some of the stuff out there, which is just too cost prohibitive. No towns are gonna be able to afford that. They haven't really been aggressive at that watershed piece, but we're hearing that may be coming down the road. So that's not part of what we necessarily have to do right now. But this, and I have a copy if you need it. I did send it to you, but I made copies if you want to see their proposal for the $45,000. So it's just to chat about, throw it off you so you can see what they're doing, what we're doing with stormwater management. And this will be separate from the inlet upgrades that will be made as well.
And again, what's our time frame for the inlet upgrades? I know we can, like you said, we can do half and half, or we can do it, okay, a couple of years.
Through 27 if we want. I think it's really supposed to be 2026, but again.
So those pieces that are gonna get made for 37,000, who installs them?
Our guys will install.
Okay.
And we have clips. Brian was able to find a manufacturer who would be very expensive to manufacture that upfit and the clips. So we said, well, we're not going to use them for that fit out, for that piece of steel, but let's see if we can find those clips, because they have to. If not, you're drilling in bolts into each one of those. I can't imagine how many bits you would be going through to drill through each inlet, 2 to 4 bolts going through to put them on. But there are these clips, which are very good. And Brian was able to find them, and we're able to we can purchase them for much less than how much it would cost for the labor and the bit costs. So it's something that you're able to put on. He can put a little tack weld on each one, and it's so that they can't come off. And you're done.
All right, so when do we need to make a decision on this proposal?
Well, for them to get started I think we should do it immediately. So that we can get started or just continue to prolong. We've got to meet our WIP, our plans, update all of that. We're going to do that anyway. That's got to be done. So this is the proposal. They gave me an initial proposal. I went back to them and asked them to cut some hours, which they did. And so, and they came back and gave me this proposal.
All right, so you'll be looking for a motion from the committee to approve the stormwater proposal of 40, yeah. Why don't you hand out that to the committee so that we can take a look at it?
Oh, we have it. Didn't you email it?
Yeah.
I have it.
You did email it?
Yeah. What?
I mean, you go through these and how do you evaluate how many hours it's going to take to do the best you can? How many hours each section may take, each part of the scope of work, which we, curb some of the hours on them. But each one of these things, parts of the scope all have to be done. And some of them each year, so you're updating things.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I apologize.
That's 45.
not to exceed.
Yeah.
Can we not just put it as a resolution for our next meeting?
Yeah, I believe we can.
Sure.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, let's do that. Let's do this as a resolution for the next meeting. Are there any specific questions about this for Jim to bring back to the engineer? Well, Jim, I would like to know, because again, we're still dealing with mapping issues from Alimo from 2023, so.
I'm still wrestling with that, but I've done I've emailed as much as I can in terms of what they're to send. They send something that's ArcView only. I can't see ArcView. I don't have the capability of doing that. I send it to our engineers. They can't see it. I go back and forth. I don't talk to each other, you know?
Right, I understand, but I just want to make sure that we are not duplicating any efforts that have already been paid for and partially done.
Everything that Alimo has sent to me, I have sent to Bryson and Yates. They're saying based on what we have, this is what needs to be done.
All right, so in between now and the next meeting where this will be on a resolution, please send any questions to our administrator, should you have them over or about this. And again, this was all because we were chasing, what, $50,000 in grant money?
Yeah.
Yeah. Here and then gone. All right. Thank you. Okay, we now reach the second public portion of our meeting. The public is reminded to please stand and state their name and address for the record prior to addressing the committee. Can I have a motion to open the floor to the public?
Motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
The floor is now open for public comment. Or presentations.
Good evening, Mayor and Township Committee. My name is Danielle Kindath. I'm an attorney at the law firm of Klein Fidel Maselli. My business address is 14,000 Horizon Way, Suite 325, Mount Laurel, New Jersey. I'm here on behalf of McDonald's USA LLC with my engineer, Tiago Duarte from Dynamic Engineering. We were here in November to present a proposal to construct a McDonald's on a path site in the shopping center, the shop right across the street, which is in the Weatherby Town Center redevelopment area. So there's a redevelopment plan in place that requires us to present to you before we proceed with our latest board application. So after our presentation in November, we took back the comments we got from the committee, and our engineer will present the revised plans, which we did submit before tonight. But you asked us to consider changing the facade to match the existing bank and ShopRite. So we updated the building elevation to have a brick facade. We've added a bike rack to the front of the McDonald's restaurant, so if people choose to come via bicycle, there'll be a place for them to park the bicycles out of the way of vehicle parking. And there was also some questions about how the path fit in with the entire shopping center and the connection road that goes to the rear of the path. So we put our site plan on a larger plan to show how it interacts with the rest of the shopping center.
Hello again. What I have up on here is a overall plan exhibit basically showing the relation of the pad site to the overall development of ShopRite. And the base file that we use for this exhibit is the CS site plan that was previously approved by the township. So the first pad so there's two pads that were subdivided as part of that original application. Again, the McDonald's will be taken first, so the closest one to the bank. And there were questions in November again about how the overall circulation will change with the McDonald's application. And basically what this is showing is the pad accesses the circulation is within the overall development, so you've got your driveway to Auburn Road, we're not changing any of that. The McDonald's pad area is accessed from that main circulation aisle, so you've got an ingress, egress for counterclockwise movements around the McDonald's building. There is a secondary connector road that connects from the main intersection with Town Square. That goes around the two pads and then reconnects to Auburn Road. That is currently not constructed, it's just a grass field at the moment. That would be done by the landlord as part of the construction of the pads. There is no McDonald's access to that side road that goes from basically behind, along the eastern side of the property. So McDonald's, again, is just connecting to the front driveway area there. And currently there is 2 connection points to the rear pad, but again, that would have to be coordinated with the final design when the landlord has a tenant there. But this is basically just showing us how that plays into the overall scheme of the site as it was originally designed.
Okay, just while you're on this, so you're saying there's going to be a third ingress egress on the right-hand side or to the east of the basin to get to the second pad?
Yes, there's going to be a road that goes around there's a stormwater management area that's going to be next to the McDonald's. And then, yes, there is a road that's part of the original design that gives you access to the rear pad and to the townhome development to the north.
This is just not here yet.
Correct. Yeah, we don't know what the trigger for that,
Right.
the development of that road is.
Because these are here
Right.
now.
And this is
The
here now.
third one. Yeah. Right. So they're. So it's just go in.
And the way this
And they can
is
actually
broken
go
out-
out to here too. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
The way it was broken on the original plan was phase 1 and phase 2, where I believe everything that's constructed currently is phase 2 access drive. The other item we had, this is again, just a more blown up version of the actual site improvements that were proposed to the McDonald's. It's a condition of a bike rack out front is in line with the site of the customer service areas at the front of the house. And you've got, bike spaces there for 4 to 6 bikes in a concrete pad area. And then that would all be detailed, subject to a site plan application. And then finally, the last meeting, we went back to McDonald's to just evaluate some additional facade options. So they proposed replacing what was previously a hardy planks building with a full brick that matched the bank next door, and the color scheme matches the shop, right? Create a company scheme on site.
I have to say, honestly, when I first saw it, I couldn't tell what changed.
On the facade or?
Yeah, on the facade.
I mean,
There was
it
no
is
brick.
bricks if you.
Yeah,
Little lines.
yeah, this,
You go back to the second exhibit. I just want to be clear on, so one of my concerns last time is, again, the development that's back there. Where would the actual speaker be for the drive-through?
Oh, I will circle one. So there's 2 lanes. Each lane will have its own order point, and that'd be on the northern side of the property, so to the rear, away from the bank.
Right, away from the bank, but right next to the affordables. So is there some type of, yeah. So is there some type of a wall or some type of a barrier to control the amount of sound that would come off of the speaker?
There is no wall. I believe there's fencing around the basin, and there's actually another basin to the east. Again, that's part of the shop right. So there's distance. There's plantings around those basins, but they adjust. So they're not. It's not a set volume. So they're constantly adjusting to the ambient noise levels. So if it's, busier during the day, the roadway has a lot of traffic, the volume is up higher, but then at night it automatically will diminish to the ambient level as that during the day.
Okay, I'm just concerned from a sound study perspective, again, the volume that would actually hit all the units behind.
Yeah, and we'll absolutely provide, we'll have measurements for
Right.
the various noise levels at the property line, and we can go all the way out to the residential.
Slightly different than design, but is there expected hours of operation?
Not currently. I believe McDonald's will look for, they always go for 24 hour, but it really depends on the market as far as,
I don't think they're open 24 hours. Are they open 24 hours? There may be some.
I haven't gone to one in
But I don't think
20
that's
years.
so.
So
There are
Restaurant
some,
wide.
yeah, but they don't always elect to use all the hours
Correct.
depending on market conditions.
is that something we could include as part of the RDA?
Hmm?
Is that something we can include as part of the RDA?
You can absolutely have limitations on certain things. That's the
I mean,
whole idea.
I mean, a small town like we have is, we shut down.
It's not a small town.
Well,
This is an
in the grand scheme of
important
things.
town, and you have the right and the prerogative to
well,
place
again,
limitations.
our ShopRite is not open 24 hours a
And
day.
there you go.
So I would say that the hours mirror almost.
And there you go.
What-
And
yeah.
there's any number of things that may develop or you spin off of or
Right.
contemplate.
Again, I think I was, for the facade, was expecting something much different, more neighborhood type. In this, like I said, I understand you updated the brick, but it still looks exactly the same, except, yeah, it looks like a box with maybe brick. I don't see any personality whatsoever in it, anything that reflects our well, not even a match for ShopRite, because I don't have that in front of me right now, but I understand the brick matches, but none of the other detailing matches. I don't believe.
Is there much dimension to it, like the mayor's asking, above or within the facade rendering? Dimension going in or going out, or is it kind of flat?
No, it's
flat.
Yeah, it's flat. At the corners and kind of it screens the customer service area. There's
Yes.
a batten system, so it's like a wall texture. That's
see what you mean.
aluminum, the base of the wood.
Yeah.
But the facade is flat for the
Yeah.
The white areas here, those are canopies that project about 4 feet from the base. Again, that's really just highlighting the customer service area.
So again, not being an architect, I know they have different names for the different styles. So when I'm sure you looked at the ShopRite and the detailing and, the parapet and all the different stuff that breaks up the facade, what design would you call that, of the ShopRite over there?
I wish that was my area.
Okay. All right.
I'm not sure, yeah.
Okay.
There is a lot less, length to break up than there is on the ShopRite. And,
Sure.
No,
The longer
understood.
side has the pickup windows, so there's just not a lot of area to incorporate the features. On the front, there is what's the term for the vertical siding around the windows.
Oh, the
That-
batten
yeah.
system, yeah, correct.
Yeah, the ShopRite has these nice awnings above the windows.
Well, yeah, they have unawning.
I can't.
I know, but even that, I don't know if it has to be white for McDonald's, but like on the ShopRite, it's gray. Again, if we're talking about matching, I like what the ShopRite kind of looks like with the differentiation and, now I'm blanking on all the terms, but I know, again, there's bump outs and there's different,
Yeah.
Just
that-
relief, just
and,
dimensional.
Yeah, dimensional
Right.
relief.
Sure.
Yeah, there isn't a lot of length to do dimensional relief, but we could look at maybe a more traditional style awning instead of the flat white.
Well, again, I think there is the ability to make it somehow dimensional, whether or not you're switching the awning and then the other facade piece that you're, if it's somehow incorporated. I don't know, I just don't, to me, like I said, I had a hard time seeing what was different in between the last presentation, where, as I thought we mentioned that it being inside this complex, we would like it to more mirror what the ShopRite is. And I appreciate you did the brick, but yeah, I think I was thinking a little different. Yeah, see, they have the two different colors, so it's offset, and I guess this has the offset, but it's not dimensional.
Yeah, I mean, with the parapet design, again, I'm not the architect from McDonald's, but I've seen similar in their other markets, so it's something
Right.
we can evaluate as far as the parapet design. And then the coloring where the end logos go, I think they can get something that matches that, what ShopRite has, that gray, to kind of just blend in a little better.
Is the McDonald's on the side backlit?
They are internally illuminated. Again, this shows the typical McDonald's sign package. They definitely like the two M logos to be on the building. Again, it goes over the doors, so just wayfinding for pedestrians. But the two channel letter signs, that's something that might not be incorporated in this package.
Okay, and one thing we haven't seen is a monument sign. What are you proposing for the monument signs?
They would be the M logos. Detail. It would match what the ShopRite has on Auburn Road.
At what height?
I believe.
Well, that's different for me.
So it would meet the ordinance of 15 foot. It would not be higher than the 15 foot. And I'll circle it on this. The intended area would be kind of center.
Oh, center of that. Okay, so not near the entrance or exits, or there
No,
would
so there, the
just be
ShopRite
wayfinding signs, like
just
in,
a
out?
sign, yeah.
Yeah, that's at least, yeah. You want to?
Is that the ShopRite?
No. Different
Okay.
styles of just broken up facade that it's, I would say in the colors that would match the ShopRite, but I'm sure you all are familiar with different designs. Oh, so there is directional signs. 2.88 square feet, so very small, so that's just entrance and exits.
Entrance and exits at the driveways, yes.
Well, they're saying up to 15 foot high, yeah. But it would be here, it wouldn't be by the entrance.
Yes.
Is there a proposal to add on to the existing ShopRite monument sign that's on Center Square Road?
So it just depends on the location.
Yes, I believe if there's a panel being added to that existing sign.
Does that affect our visibility? That's a J-Lo question though, if that blocks visibility. So yeah, it would be right in the middle somewhere.
This is a 2025.
Getting there. Yeah.
So this is kind of like the newer.
Yeah.
The newer ones. So they're all different.
Right.
They're all different.
Well, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I do agree that that's boring.
Just look with what's going on in that plaza itself. I think that there are, as I said, I'm looking at all the McDonald's in the various areas, and they're all very different. So it seems like it can be catered to what we're looking for as in different.
Yeah. All right, what other
And
questions?
what are you looking for besides, personality and it broken up? I mean, is there anything specific we can take back?
Well, like maybe where like that, where the part where it says, like where the awning, that white, I guess, something there, something a bit more, if it's possible.
Well, why don't you show her some of the examples that you like? If you want to approach and she can show you.
something like this.
That all is very, it's basically what's on the plan.
But it's kind of different, kind of something, or even something like that, but a little bit more.
Okay, so that has like the gray.
Yeah.
Is that part of the plan? And more just brick columns?
Yeah, something like, if you guys can come up with some, with, between that, like a different.
On the brick itself, is that something that just comes up, or are we looking to potentially not even going with that brick color and, doing something a little different? Maybe not match the shop brick or concrete?
Well, I believe, again, the ShopRite was, correct me if I'm wrong, was it gray within the offset, the brick color, but that was actually just colored concrete?
Yeah, colored concrete.
Oh, awesome. Shop right disappeared. There it is. Oh, that's what I got.
Yeah, I almost. Again, on the pictures that we're looking at, the ShopRite appears to be the terracotta colored concrete, not that's brick, whereas the brickwork is actually gray in the front, and where you have that bump out projections, like a 3D projections, they have the ironwork, they have the taller section for the main entrance. So it's a broken up facade. I think it's this flat, like we said, box. We like fenestration, or not, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we'll look and see what we can add, but on a scale, this is so much smaller than the ShopRite.
No, understood. But again, it has to be scaled to size, but there can still be broken up sections of it to make it look less like a rectangle.
I think it's just the fact it looks like a rectangle.
Yeah.
Plotted there. So a home has a lot of dimensions, and that's going to be the size of a home. So you could, and I know in other McDonald's there's dimensions, it will just look differently than that. I'm sure that's much more economical doing it that way, and it's fine looking. I think it's probably just the fact that it's just a flat rectangle. What can we do to make it look like a restaurant? That's all. I think that's what I'm speaking of.
No. Committee? One other comments? Does that provide you enough detail?
I'm not sure, and
Okay.
So we're presenting to you as part of the land use board process, we need to be designated redeveloper and enter into a redevelopment agreement. Would we be able to maybe do a Zoom with the planning board planner who's familiar with the redevelopment plan and can offer, some more technical insight to get a design that, the town's comfortable with? Because
do we have an escrow established?
Conversations that.
Do you have an escrow established? Yep.
No.
Municipality, okay. Then I think, yeah. Yeah, okay. Then I think let's do that. We can schedule that, establish an escrow, and then we can set up a Zoom, or you can come back in and then we can meet with to do a.
Like a work group?
Yeah, workshop.
Sure.
Okay. So I'll contact the board secretary.
Yep.
We'll do a workshop. Okay.
Yeah, because then maybe that way.
Yeah, because there's.
A little more traction.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so that'll be your next step, and then.
You've got an architect involved, right? Yes. So he'll be at the work group.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, that sort of thing.
If that's feasible.
Yeah, especially if it's Zoom, because the architect may be out of state.
Right.
Some of the McDonald's, but we can do a Zoom.
Perfect.
Workshop. Okay. All right, so I'll contact the land use board secretary.
Yep.
Okay.
And she'll walk you through it, and then I think that way, then we can have more feedback and more concrete feedback.
All right.
Okay. Well, thank you for waiting through the whole.
Okay. All right, thanks. So we'll reach out to the board and go from there.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
The floor is still open. Should any public? No? Okay, all right.
All right, seeing no other public present, motion to close.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, Resolution 2026-56, resolution authorizing a closed session of the Woolwich Township Committee for contractual matters about the Police Administration PBA contract, UCC official, and NVR utility fees. Can I have a motion to enter into executive session?
Motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are entering into close, we estimate, I hate to say it, an hour at least, sorry. No, we are.
I am ready.
Okay, can I have a motion to return to regular session?
Motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are back in regular session. Resolution 2026-57, resolution appointing William Miller as UCC Construction Code Official, Building Subcode Official, and Building Inspector for Woolwich Township, as amended with a salary of $140,000. Can I have a motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Committeeman Frederick.
Yes.
Committeewoman Minhas.
Yes.
Committeewoman Williams.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Nocentino.
Yes.
Mayor Mathias.
Yes. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes of December 29th special closeout meeting and January 5th reorg and regular meeting?
Motion to, I forgot, approve.
All right, I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, any corrections or additions? All right, all in favor? Aye. And can I have a motion to approve all bills and purchase orders as submitted?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions or changes? And roll call, please.
Committeeman Frederick.
Yes, abstain authorizing bills.
Committeewoman Minhas.
Yes.
Committeewoman Williams.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Nocentino.
Yes.
Mayor Mathias.
Yes. And I would just like to remind the committee, February 9th is our town hall meeting that we're going to have here at 6:30, and it's going to be how a thing becomes a thing, or municipal land use law. So, yay! I'm sure everybody will for that. So just a reminder, please let me know if you are available to attend.
Is it 6:30?
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Who's doing it? Like the meeting?
Well, I was going to offer Mike, but actually Ashton Jones offered to come in to help us through it. So, yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'm not going to proclaim to know every single thing.
No. And I'm sure there might be some technical questions.
You did tell him 1 hour, right?
Yeah. 1 hour, that's it. So again, just a reminder, please let me know if you are available for that for February 9th. Otherwise, our next meeting is February 2nd. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion. Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned.
Thanks, everybody.